I I don't buy into those who say, I've made up my mind, he's never going to be any good. I don't buy that. I think there's a lot of talent there. I don't think his arm strength is the problem that others do. I think his release time is the problem. I think his accuracy needs some work, but I don't think it's arm strength. Obviously, the other players respect him as a leader. That's a good thing.
All right, we're back. Hour number 3. Thanks for hanging with us. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network, Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks. I am Rob Ellis, and we are joined now by the man that you can hear each and every Saturday on WIP at 10 a.m. Has been doing it. WIP, how many, Glenn, are we at 30 years yet at WIP? How long? What are we at?
Almost. It will be 29 years in December. So,
wow.
A year and a half away.
That's a good run, man. That is a good
great run.
That's
may you be blessed with 30 more.
No, I don't think so. But they haven't figured it out that I'm a fraud yet. So I'll just.
Come on, man.
You don't want a 60-year run on the radio, Glenn? I mean, geez.
Yeah. Well, let me think. No, I'll be a little aged for that. I think.
Well, we were just talking. Well, I want to give you a little love because we were just talking Sixers, and I see a bunch of different people are discussing this today as well. You and I were on yesterday on WIP. You mentioned what you're hearing is the potential for a new Sixers arena, maybe, and you gave a bunch of Navy Yard. You named some other places, but potentially downtown. So just talk a little bit about that, Glenn, for starters.
Yeah, I've been talking to some people who kind of know what's going on in terms of what the Sixers are thinking. They've never liked being a tenant of Comcast and of the Flyers down at the Wells Fargo. I understand that, right? They want their own building. That's certainly something you would think. And they've been moving toward it. As you and I discussed yesterday, Rob, Josh Harris is not a poor man. He's got a couple bucks, and he sees the opportunity to build his empire, and a new building would help him because not only would they not have to pay rent to anybody, they'd be their own boss, but in addition to that, they could have other events there, and they can make money off of that. So the big question, they're tenants until 2031. That's their lease. And they're going to move on it before then. They may make an announcement, from what I hear, soon, as in by the end of the summer. And they've looked at several locations, but it appears that what they really want to do is build a new, I'm talking multi-purpose, with retail, middle-income housing, the whole thing, unit or complex down like in the fashion district, like Market.
Wow.
Between like 9th and 12th, that whole area there. That's what they want to do. I don't know what you guys think. I'm not delighted with that idea.
No,
wouldn't it be a parking nightmare though?
Yes. Logistical nightmare. Yeah,
it would be a parking nightmare. Obviously they'd have to build a lot of parking spaces, but even so, getting down there, I drive downtown. I'm sure you guys drive downtown sometimes.
Yeah.
Games start at 7:00. You want to try to, battle rush hour to be getting into the city?
No.
I know the thought process is, hey, we can get everybody to take public transportation, but as admirable a goal as that may be, this is not a town where people love to take public transportation.
No, especially not at 11 o'clock at night and stuff like that. No.
Right. Yeah. That's the other thing. I was saying
there.
Getting in, you have the issue of getting out, and you're asking people to get out of downtown. Listen, I go downtown, and I'm happy to do so. Go downtown for dinner, go for a theater or something like that. But there are a lot of people who are skittish about going downtown, and I get that. And you're asking them now to be walking around at 10:30 at night. Some people may not want to do that.
That's interesting. Yeah, but I thought it could be there, could be Navy Yard, which, is interesting to me, is a little bit more intriguing to me. And, who knows? Camden.
And someplace over in Camden was the third possibility.
Yep. Absolutely. Interesting. So, Glenn, I love being able to kind of jump around a little bit. Let's get your thoughts, Phillies-wise. We're on before the game yesterday. They end up sweeping it. Nola was dealing. I mean, just unbelievable. And they finished strong, man. I thought they were in some trouble after that little tailspin with the end of St. Louis and Toronto, but to their credit, big bounce back.
Yeah, it was a great bounce back. They had not swept a series in Miami since the Marlins were the
Mm-hmm.
Florida Marlins as opposed to the
Mm-hmm.
Miami Marlins. It was 1991 or whatever. No, I'm sorry, that's not right. It's 2008. It was when the
10.
Phillies were still those Phillies.
Yeah, it was 10. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
a while
2010,
ago.
excuse me. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was during their great run.
Mhm.
So after you lose 4 in a row, 2 in St. Louis and the 2 in Toronto, you're in a battle for that third wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
We can discuss how legitimate you think that is, but I'll take, after a decade of no playoffs, I'll take playoffs however I can get it. And just to see them rebound with great pitching in that series. And by the way, really good defense, which is something we don't get to say often about them. Timely hitting. You go into the All-Star break right in the midst of it. Hey, you know what? It'll be nice to have a baseball season in August and September.
Hey, Glenn, when I look at this team, we hear so many people talking about they need this, they need that. You got to make buyers. You got to do this. I've been of the frame of mind, just hold on. Reinforcements are coming. Hold on. You look at where you are right now. You're in the thick of the wild card race with Milwaukee, St. Louis, even San Diego. If you get your reinforcements in a few more weeks, you're back to where you want to be. Maybe you need a starting pitcher, but I don't think you need to do much to disrupt the chemistry of what you have right now.
I do.
Okay.
I definitely, with the bad news about Eflin, they're probably going to need to get some kind of starting pitcher.
Yep.
Rob, you and I yesterday talked to Matt Galb of The Athletic, and also your thought was they're not going to go out and get an ace, but you get your Joe Blanton of 2022. You get a guy who's a very capable fourth starter who can maybe make the difference of 1 or 2 games, which could be all the difference. And the other thing that I think they need is a center fielder who can run and catch the ball. They got 5 left fielder DH, softball league players out there that they rotate. Even when Harper comes back, the outfield defense is pretty atrocious.
Yeah.
The guy I like, and I will give full credit to the person who put his name in my ear, Ricky Ricardo. The guy I like is Michael Taylor of the Kansas City Royals. I think Michael Taylor he's not the greatest offensive player. He's capable. You bat him 7, 8, 9. He can steal a base, hit an occasional home run, but boy, he can cover from left field all the way through right field, and they need somebody who can fly.
Let me ask you this. Do they do you see them before the season's over? Just go ahead and take that interim tag off Rob Thompson.
I don't.
You don't?
No, because I don't think there's really any reason to. I mean, I know, his wife would probably enjoy that. But I don't think it makes any difference to the players. And listen, he's done a great job, but I have this, I don't know, ominous feeling of you give him the job and then all of a sudden the floor falls out.
Philly state of mind.
Yeah, it's all working. I guess the way Derek said he doesn't want to mess up the chemistry of the team, and I get that. I don't want him. I got no need to do that. At the end of the year, if they finish well, they do well. He gets a 3-year, 4-year contract with some good money, and there you go.
All right, Glenn, let's go Birds. 8 days. 8 days from training camp. We don't get to see the guys lugging in their flat screens anymore, unfortunately. That's all gone. And the fans only get one shot at seeing these guys, unfortunately, with the open practice situation. Nonetheless, there is a real air of excitement and optimism here, but every sentence seems to end with Jalen Hurts. And it's okay if you end it with Jalen Hurts too, but tell me where you are as we sit here getting really close now to this thing being real with this team.
Okay. Can I digress for 1 second, though?
Please.
Barrett, when you started, where was training camp?
When I started, it started out at Westchester.
Mm-hmm.
We were still at Westchester, and it was like 6.5 weeks of training camp. So
Right.
we were in the pit. You remember the pit, man?
Oh yeah, I do.
It was the worst situation, because it was inside a valley. It was hot.
Yeah.
And
I
steamy.
know.
So
and when you finished, was it Westchester the whole time you were there, or did you?
Yeah, after that it was Westchester. Yes.
Okay.
No. I'm sorry. It was Lehigh.
Lehigh. Okay.
1 year at Westchester and 3 years at Lehigh.
Okay. So I hated driving to Lehigh.
Yes.
And I hated the heat, but and I mean, Derek can relate to this as much as anybody. I missed that opportunity to really see what's going on, and the reporters now, the fans certainly, but even the reporters now, you're so removed from it, and it's really a shame. It's really limited, and I missed that when you could really, really cover it. Okay, so what's my thought about the Eagles? All right, I know we'll talk about Jalen Hurts, but I'll open not talking about Jalen Hurts. I'll open saying that this team has probably the best offensive line in football, and depth on the offensive line. That while the running backs are not spectacular, they certainly do the job. Adding A.J. Brown to the wide receivers gives them a receiving core that's terrific. Great, no problem, none whatsoever. They put a lot of attention into the defense in the offseason. The draft went into the defense. They signed Hassan Reddick for the defense. They signed Bradbury from New York. If I'm going to leave out the quarterback for now, I'll say the biggest question for me is Jonathan Gannon. And I don't mean that as a negative. I mean that as the guy had nothing to work with last year. Now he's got a lot to work with. We are told that everybody around the league loves this guy and he's great. I'm eager to find out.
Me too.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah. No,
there's no question about it.
It's fascinating. And the other thing is, what's weird, Glenn, we so of course we're focused on the quarterback, but we're always all over the head coach too. It seems like Sirianni falls to like second or third in a pecking order when we always talk about this team, right? It's Hurts. Yeah. It's Gannon. It's so strange that's what it is.
Steichen.
Yeah. Steichen will come up or whatever. And then Sirianni's kind of back in the wilderness. Why do you think that is?
I think by the end of the year, people were really impressed by him. They start 2-5.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they really got it together, and it was not coincidental that it was around the time he gave up the play calling. But I'm okay with that. It worked, so that's fine. I think the players really like him. He sometimes will be a little goofy, but I think he's a very smart guy. I mean, we've all seen the occasional news conferences where like, what is with this guy? But that's fine. That's great. I don't want to say he answered all the questions last year because he was a rookie coach and there's a lot for him to prove. But I think he ended the season. Well, the loss in the playoffs was not ending the season on an up note. But by and large, he ended the season on an up note. So I would
competent note.
Yeah, I would say he's question number 3 for me. Okay, number 1 is Gannon, number 2 is Hurts, number 3 is Sirianni, and we're focusing on the top 2 mostly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you sidestepped the topic a moment ago, and I'm going to bring it back to the forefront.
Well, he dared me to sidestep.
Derek's a bulldog, Glenn. He's a bulldog.
I'm gonna bring it back to the forefront.
I'll take the hit. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it back to the forefront because I love your opinions on so many different things. Jalen Hurts, where do you stand on him right now? Because he's such a polarizing figure in this city for somebody who still has so much to learn and so far to go. But he is like that Mason Dixon line. You're either on his side or you're not. There's no gray area with this guy.
Wow. Can I be who was neutral during the Civil War? Was there anything? I'll be
Switzerland.
I'm Ontario. Yeah,
you're Jonesy. All right.
I'm California.
All right.
I don't buy into those who say, I've made up my mind, he's never going to be any good. I don't buy that. I think there's a lot of talent there. I don't think his arm strength is the problem that others do. I think his release time is the problem. I think his accuracy needs some work, but I don't think it's arm strength. Obviously, the other players respect him as a leader. That's a good thing. So I don't buy into, no, he'll never do it. I also think the people who declare that he's already proven he's going to be a top-flight quarterback are doing that just on their own hope or their own loyalty, right? I mean, there's no
homerism.
basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, homerism. Right.
Fandom.
Yeah, there's no reason to believe, there's no reason, I don't want to say there's no reason to assert the guy's proven it, he has nothing to prove, he's going to be a top. No, we don't know that. I think ultimately he's going to be a second-round draft pick who proves to be somewhere between the 12th and 18th best quarterback in the NFL, which is extremely average, which is not ideal, which may not be enough for them. However, teams have gotten to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl with average quarterbacks. I think that he may have a Pro Bowl year or two in him. I don't think he's ever going to be, name the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. Name the top 5 young quarterbacks in the league. I don't think he's going to crack that list.
All right, let's. Like I said, go ahead. Did you want to follow up on that, Derek?
No, go ahead. No.
No, I was gonna say I'd like to jump around with you. I want to go Flyers next because I.
No.
Dun, dun, dun.
Say all the good news, huh?
Here we go.
Well, I'm gonna end on a high note with the Sixers with Harden, so, Glenn, simply put, I'm trying to figure out exactly when the season ended, which was a horrendous season, and Chuck Fletcher and the Brain Trust got together, and they sat down and they said, "All right, fellas, this is the game plan for this offseason." And what's taken place since then? What was the game plan, and if there was one? And how would you answer that now if you're stepping in the shoes of Fletcher?
Well, I think the first game plan was we got to get a coach who's going to move the needle. We got to get an exciting coach that is competent and talented and that will excite the fans. And you know what? They did that.
Mm-hmm.
They got that done.
Why did it take so long, though?
Pardon me?
Why did it take so long?
Because I think they were looking at another possibility that didn't work out.
Okay.
And when that didn't work out, they did this, and this is fine. I think this is good. I think he's going to be, if nothing else, the head coach is going to be exciting. You don't want the head coach to be the most exciting thing you got, but he'll provide copy for all of us. I think the plan after that was that they were hoping that they could dump several really bad contracts that they had and try to work away under the salary cap. They have done a hideous job. You know when the Flyers stopped being good, which is when the NHL put in a salary cap. Under Ed Snyder, they would spend their way out of problems. And it's like, all right, well, you know what? Just add another $3 million for this guy. We'll just buy, and they were able to do it. God bless Ed Snyder, rest his soul. They have screwed up the salary cap. The last 3 general managers, Holmgren, Hextall, and now this guy, Fletcher, have screwed up the salary cap. Loyal, they have signed bad players to long contracts. It's the James Van Riemsdyk syndrome times 5. And nobody wants these guys. I mean, Van Riemsdyk's the greatest example. Mm-hmm. They had to get rid of his contract. They couldn't do it, so they had no plan. They made what I think is a foolish move to get the local kid, the defenseman, Tony DeAngelo, and gave him too much money, $10 million for 2 years. I mean, there's all kinds of questions about his character on the ice, off the ice, etc. I just, by and large, think you don't give up 3 draft picks and $10 million for that guy. I don't see that. And then they sign a guy who is listed as the worst forward in the NHL by all stats and metrics over the last 2 years. Not like a bad one. He's literally, and I don't, hockey metrics are a little tricky. I don't buy all of them, but these ones don't lie. The worst forward in the NHL, and they gave him a 4-year deal. 4-year deal. Okay. And then when nobody wanted their other players, they're kind of stuck. And of course, you have the best Johnny Gaudreau, who is maybe the best player ever to come out of this area, makes it clear he wants to come home. And it's like, we can't do that. We're going to pass.
Wasn't even on their radar. He wasn't even on their radar.
Right. And you're exactly right. Derek, 6 months ago, they should have figured, okay, this is what's going to come. Let's try to do what we can do. Yeah. I have no idea how they're going to sell 20 tickets next year. This is a great hockey town with a terrific fan base that has been tested and tortured over the last 5 years with a horrible team. All they give them is a stupid mascot. And now all those people who have been so loyal for so many years, they're not going to come, and I don't blame them.
Well, Glenn, that was our face of our franchise for the past 3 years.
Yes.
So I'm glad we now have a coach that's going to be a face of the franchise.
But they're going to still shove. Barrett, they're going to shove Gritty at you every chance they get.
And Glenn, I just thought of this when you said it. Like, Tortorella is like, get that thing away from me.
Yeah.
He's like Tommy Lasorda with the fanatic.
Yeah.
They're going to say, hey, coach, we want to take some pictures before the season. We want to do a cute little commercial where, like, you're instructing, and they think you're instructing the players. Go get him, go get him. But then it's Gritty. What do you think, coach? And he's going to say, get the hell away from me.
Yeah. Hey, Glenn, I like how you worded it a few moments ago when you said they needed a coach to move the needle. And whether you like him or not, Tortorella is going to move the needle. He can be abrasive. He can be a great teacher of the game. Was he the right person to take over this mess?
Derek, I almost think it's irrelevant because no coach is going to push this team into the second round of the playoffs. Right. So, you could say we're going to hire a young, exciting college coach, which failed when they tried that with Hackstall. This is an experienced, winning NHL coach. So it doesn't make a difference. Good for us, though. I'm telling you.
He's going to be great for us.
Listen, as somebody who likes hockey, I grew up playing hockey. I've coached hockey. I'm a hockey guy. I missed the opportunity to talk hockey on WIP.
Yeah.
Tortorella will give us the occasional intro into it.
Well,
but see, here's what I said, Glenn. I said, initially, this fan base has been so loyal and they're so frustrated right now. I said initially, they will come out of curiosity to see what it looks like, in person, because they're already season ticket holders. You can't give away all your tickets. So they're going to come out initially. They'll give them 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks before they decide whether or not. And then maybe the numbers start to dwindle significantly in the stands in terms of people. I've seen enough of this. I don't want to see anymore. But I think initially the curiosity will be, I want to see this firsthand, what we're looking at here.
Well, they rely a lot on a season ticket base, right? And not people buy all 41 games, but people buy 10-game packages, 12, whatever, 20-game packages. Derek, imagine being, and the people who sell their sales force, they're mostly younger people, right? Yep. So imagine you're, the 25-year-old kid trying to work your way up, and it's like, okay, hey, Derek, here's the list of fans you have to call today to find out if they're retaining their season ticket. What do you think they're like? Hi, this is Derek Gunn from the Flyers. Would you like to re-up your season tickets?
Hello?
How do you think that's going to go?
Hello?
It goes one of two ways, right? The kid either never does that job again, or he becomes like the greatest executive because he can handle anything. One of two ways.
Let me ask you this, Glenn. I mean, long story long, which I think is going to be a short story when you give it to me, but Sean Couturier, Lawton, Provorov, Konechny, Carter Hart. I mean, is there enough of a nucleus right now to be a competitive team?
No, not only is there not enough of a nucleus, but Barrett, one of the things that really worries me is I think Carter Hart remains a promising young goalie who could be really good. But goalies get shell-shocked. You know what it's like? It's like that young quarterback who's got who is it, David Carr?
David Carr,
yeah. Okay, I mean, that's the parallel I'll try to give you to put it in a football term. He's going to face 40-something plus shots a night, and you could ruin that kid's future. So not only is there not enough of the nucleus, but you can destroy your best asset with the way they're going.
Mm.
So that's tough because
it's not pretty.
I mean, and I saw him going to a shell the past 2 years from getting yelled at, and this guy's going to yell at him.
Yeah, he's tougher on other players than he is on goalies, but he's tough on everybody.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, lastly, Glenn, we were talking a lot about James Harden before you came on, and some of the things in the Yahoo Sports story where basically he said, look, I told Morey, do what you got to do. What's left, I'll take. He's going to take a big hit. Now, are you buying the he's just Mr. Team guy, or is there a motive here somewhere that behind the curtain? What do you think's going on?
I don't want to be cynical. I don't. So
come on, Glenn.
But
no, there's not a but. He's going to make how much?
Probably like 32 instead of 47.
Yeah,
For
34. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think he's betting on himself that, you know, he'll rebound. I don't mean physically rebound. I mean I don't mean literally rebound, but he will return to a level of play that will give him the opportunity to get a better contract, right? He's got an opt-out after 1 year. I think he's betting on himself. And if he can help the team at the same time, I think he's, you know, happy to do that he wants to win. But he believes that he underperformed. He can get better, and he's not going to have to buy the cheap scotch, Rob.
No. I don't think he's in Clipper magazine right now, Glenn, trying to figure out how he's, you know, how he's eating tonight.
He's going to be okay.
Yeah. But I give him credit. Look, he could have opted in. He could have gouged them for as much as possible, you know.
Yeah, I appreciate what he did. And I mean, I don't think what they've done this offseason yet really makes a whole lot of difference. I don't know where that's going to come from, but you know.
Yeah. Go ahead. Do you have a question? Go ahead, Derek.
No, go ahead, Ralph. Go with your follow-up.
Well, this isn't so much a follow-up, but I need to get Glenn's take on, have you seen the Embiid dancing at the wedding?
All right.
So I need it. Let's show it. Okay. But I need you to break this down and walk us through this.
Wait, as the resident Jew, I'm going to evaluate.
Here we go. Here we go. Now you give us the play-by-play of this. You can describe this better.
Okay.
Yeah, you can describe this better than any of us.
Yeah,
so
I've been there. I've been in that dance.
All right.
Sure.
So you like here's what before we play, Glenn. This is what I love about him. He is very childlike and you know, spontaneous. He's not
playful.
A guy who's hot. Yeah, he's not hiding in a corner. Don't talk to me at the wedding.
He's a playful guy.
Yeah. So all right, give us. Here we go. This is
okay.
All right, go ahead, Xander.
Wait, where's that hand going?
I know. Let's get past where the hand is for a minute. All right.
Yeah.
I love this, man.
It's tremendous.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll say a few things about this.
All right.
First of all, I think I speak for every Sixers fan watching that, saying, "Please don't get hurt. Please don't get hurt."
That's what Derek said.
You're just afraid somebody's going to step on his foot.
Yes.
And they jumped on me for that. What if he had fallen off the chair and re-injured the thumb and stuff?
Okay. All right. I mean, I think we all had a little bit of that, but you know, he did okay. So, having been at, you know, hundreds of Jewish weddings and bar mitzvahs, including my own and my kids and all of that, the highlight of every Jewish celebration is the hora, which is a dance that starts with the circle, and everybody dances around the circle. There's certain steps and kick steps and so on. And God bless him, man. He is right in there with all those people and having the time of the smile on his face, as usual, is phenomenal.
Yep.
The way the hora, and as the hora progresses, either the bar mitzvah kid or the bride and the groom are hoisted up on chairs. I don't know how many people they had to find to carry. Thank you. 300 pounds?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they had some strong men there carrying his chair, and you put the bride and the groom up on the chair. They usually will hold like a handkerchief between the two of them, right? Okay. And they don't want to lose contact. It's like they stay with that. And you go up and down and up and down. They appeared to be on the same chair, which is not the way it's done.
Yeah.
They certainly appeared to have a nice relationship between the two of them. I mean, it was a
no hand checking. No hand checking. Yeah.
No hand checking at that moment.
Yes.
And listen, I loved it.
It's great.
Right in my wheelhouse, pal.
It was perfect. It was
perfect.
Glenn, it's what I love about Embiid. But go ahead there.
I got to ask you this. How's the beer industry going?
Beer's going well. We in summertime, people like to drink beer, which is nice. We have some. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to plug.
Yeah.
I'm one of the partners in the Conshohocken Brewing Company, locations in Conshohocken, King of Prussia, Phoenixville, Havertown, and Bridgeport. And our places, and you can buy us in all of your local stores. We have some great hazy IPAs for the summer, a couple of nice sours, and our Ring the Bell Pilsner, a big favorite at Phillies games.
I have been to the Town Tap in Havertown, and it is killer food, killer beer, killer atmosphere. So
I've been
over in Conshohocken.
Yep.
There you go. Here's the thing: people like beer.
Yep.
Shocking. Yes. What's the beverage of choice tonight? You're good at tweeting out like I'm having a whatever, for dinner or on the deck or whatever. What's you got something picked out for tonight?
I think tonight is a I'm going to go with our MC5 hazy IPA. It's about 7%, which works real well for me. 116 ouncer will do me well. I guess I'll watch it into the. I'm Derek. I got a pork tenderloin. I'm going to throw on in the.
There
big
you
green
go.
Egg.
There you go.
I'm in your wheelhouse now.
That's
Love
right.
that big green egg. And I'll do that right into the home run derby.
Perfect.
So that's a fine night.
So Glenn, are you one of these like hands-on type owners, or do you stand back and let people do their jobs?
Oh, they
Or
don't
do you
let
like to
me.
be...
No, I mean, understand. I own. Hold on, that percent of it, right? So my involvement is occasionally they let me name a beer.
Okay.
They've allowed me to put a couple things on the menu. I'll take credit for the cheese curds, which is a big seller. They have the Prof Burger, which is a hamburger I designed, and I put together partnerships. And I'll say this. We have a charity partnership with a pair of local sports legends that's going to occur in the fall.
Nice.
We did one with Mark Zumoff last year that worked out really well. And we have another partnership that we'll be announcing soon with two icons in local sports, and all for a very good charity.
Nice.
Good.
Okay.
That's awesome.
All right.
That's
That's
awesome.
the work that I get
that's
to do
awesome.
that work, and that's
Good.
rewarding work for me.
Awesome. All right, Glenn. So we look forward to it Saturday, 10 a.m. and of course Sunday as well on WIP. A staple, a must listen. So we appreciate a couple minutes today, Glenn. Thanks, man.
Hey,
Thank
nice
you,
to
brother.
see all you guys. Everybody
Likewise.
do well. Everybody have a great summer.
Take care,
You
Glenn.
too, man. Thank
All right.
you.
Always fun chatting with Glenn. Got to hang out yesterday. In fact, we did the show at WIP as well, leading into the Phillies. All right, we come back, guys. We're gonna hit a bunch of different things. We'll talk about the MLB draft. We'll talk about the guy that the Phillies drafted in the MLB draft home run derby tonight. We got some quality birthdays. Gunner was on fire researching.
That's right. Rob Ellis called me out, said I'm not holding up my end of the deal, not coming up with enough stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yes.
you know what? You only have to tell me once. You only have to tell me one time.
He's like Michael Jordan, man. You give
right.
him the biggest any kind of slight, he just crushes.
You can't offend me, but you can
That's
get
right.
my attention.
That's right. And quality movies that were released on this date as well, like we always like to throw your way. So don't go anywhere. We'll come back. We will roll into the final segment of the program. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network.